Hello and welcome to The Art of Kanda Shinji, an exploration into the amazing world of a talented Japanese artist whose work has captivated audiences around the Pokémon world. Kanda Shinji was born in Kyoto of 1986, but he later moved north to Hokkaido, where he finished his high school education in a small town on the Tokachi Plain. It was there that he developed a love for Pokemon, which would eventually shape his career as an artist. Kanda has been working on the Pokemon trading card game since the Brilliant Stars set, and has illustrated a total of 14 cards, including 3 reprints. His love for Pokemon started in childhood, as it did for many of us, and he credits the series with inspiring him to become an artist. When Kanda returned to his hometown, he came across an image that brought back memories from his childhood. You know that lovely nostalgic feeling? He made a copy of this particular image, and this is what he had to say. Even though most of the Pokemon illustrations are digital now, I loved the amazing watercolor paintings by Ken Fujimori. I used to copy it when I was in elementary school, and I realized once again that drawing characters like this would be very educational. From a young age, Kanda wanted to be an artist, and it is safe to say that the wonderful world of Pokemon inspired him to follow in the footsteps of his favorite illustrators. Despite his love for Pokemon, Kanda's journey to becoming a professional illustrator was not without its challenges. In 2020, Kanda entered the Pokémon Card Game Illustration Grand Prix. The Pokémon Card Game Illustration Grand Prix is a contest held by the Pokémon Company, in which artists from around the world submit illustrations of Pokemon to be considered for use on actual Pokemon trading cards. The contest is held annually, and the winning illustrations are chosen by a panel of judges from the Pokemon Company. The winners of the contest are awarded prizes and the opportunity to have their artwork featured on official trading cards. So how did Kanda do in the 2020 competition? Well, his entries were rejected. That's kind of sad to hear, but listen on for the rest of the story. This is what Kanda had to say of the experience. Unfortunately, the entries for the Pokemon Card Game Illustration Grand Prix were dropped out. When I looked at my entries, all of them were of poor quality, and I thought, oh, that's no good. I swear, I'm done with it. But Kanda did not give up. He was determined. He was determined to keep trying. And this is what he had to say. I'm going to try this again next year. And I can just imagine a smile on Kanda's face as he said this. His perseverance paid off, and he has now become a professional illustrator recognized by the Pokemon Company for his unique art style. Bit of a clap there. Well done, Kanda. Pixie, well done, Kanda. I'm so proud of you. Alright, we'll continue. Is it still recording? Let me just see that. Kanda's art is characterized by a relentless pursuit of creativity, as he draws various images that come to mind without drafts. He adds depth and rhythm to his artwork by repeating patterns or changing the touch of his drawings. In his art, Kanda aims to create a world that viewers can enjoy without reason, beyond principles and positions. His artwork is beautifully cluttered in a kaleidoscope of patterns, shapes, and colors that are bold yet prominent. By increasing the amount of information in his art, Kanda hopes to create a stateless and meaningless art world that allows viewers to simply experience and appreciate the beauty of his work. Outside of his work on the Pokemon trading card game, Kanda is known for his colorful and expressive art, which has gained a following among collectors and fans of Japanese art. I highly recommend checking out Kanda's Instagram page, link somewhere here, to get a sense of his unique art style. Kanda has been holding art exhibitions in Higashiyama, Kyoto, with his most recent show at the Kunst Arts Gallery in Kyoto. If you're lucky enough to see it, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Kanda's art continues to scratch the deepest edges of humanity's imagination. Take a look at this piece Kanda drew using his iPad. Cold, ornamental animals can invite endless thought. He continues to inspire and influence artists around the world with his unique approach to creating art. Now, let's take a look at the cards that Kanda Shinji has completed over the years. Now, Sunfisk looks huge. It's an 11 kilogram Pokemon. It's very small, less than a meter, but it looks massive here. So he's really exaggerating the Pokemon here. But the background is almost, well, I mean, it's exactly that. It's in the background. You can see meteor showers in the back, almost like it's a long exposure. I think it could actually be a long exposure. That's what it is. And, you know, you've got like these, what do you call them? Fairy lights or fairy bugs? Light bugs. The light bugs that sort of float around. They've got a lit up body. And that's Sunfisk for you. We're going to be taking a look at Whiscash. So the art style here, again, kind of like the Sunfisk. Pokemon itself is very prominent there. The coloring technique that Kanda uses here is rather interesting. Almost like he's using different scratches of colors to emphasize the details, where the light hits the Pokemon on the body with the whites there to give it the shape, and then odd colors like bits of red, bits of yellow, which almost don't make sense on that side of the Pokemon, as although it might, you know, looking at it now in more detail, it sort of does make sense, because if you've got the trees that are red there, it could just be reflecting on this Pokemon, which is a water type. Well, don't quote me there. Yes, it is. It's a water type, so this is a wet Pokemon, right? So it'll constantly be sort of reflecting these materials. I mean, that is perfect. That actually makes amazing sense. And this is how I describe things when I'm not on script. Sorry, it's a bit of a mess, but I also love that in the clouds, there is a cloud Whiscash up there. Can you see that? Actually, what Whiscash, his eyesight is directly looking up at it. That is very cool. It's even got the fins. You can see the big fin there, little fin. The tail's a bit different, but that's all right. I love that little bit of a detail. And it's got this sort of folksy style, almost of the European region, with these bold colors. There aren't too many shades of green here. The red, the greens, what was it, very Swedish, just reminds me of. It's a very happy artwork. And again, a little bit of that either long exposure, look at this, the sky, but either way, it is absolutely entirely fantastic. Well, £52 on the Whiscash, that is a heavy Pokemon. Let's move on to the next one. So moving on to another card, we are looking at Sork now. Now again, it does seem like Kanda really does focus on the sky, making it seem like there's a meteor shower there. The stars are quite prominent. He really sort of exposes the power of the Pokemon. He had this very sort of powerful stance that Sork is in, and overall, I mean, it just expresses the energy with the lines on his gi. I think it's called a gi, and again, super detailed. The background here not as detailed, but the sweep, the leg. Now, flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy from your blah, blah, blah. Sweep the leg. I mean, that action is sweeping the leg, you know. If I were asked to draw sweep the leg, this is what I would draw sweep the leg as. That's Sork. Moving on to Moltres. Now we are looking at Kanda Shinji's Moltres. Now, spoiler alert, this is not the only Moltres that Kanda Shinji has drawn. We'll get to the most incredible one soon. But let's just discuss this one. Again, we've got a bit of that scene built in the background. You can see the palm trees, the volcano, almost like this is from the Jurassic era. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I said it. And it's just explosive. He's got his wings, the flames just almost falling, dripping off of Moltres' wings is truly a legendary Pokemon. No doubt somebody will be looking at this and thinking, wow, this is a mythical creature, so powerful. If we zoom in a little bit, it looks like you can see faces in the tail of Moltres. I don't know if that's a tail of Moltres, but it's certainly fire, and it's just, you know how I have described Kanda's backgrounds, the skies in particular, to have these incredibly sort of long exposure stars. He's sort of put that into the wings of Moltres, where the flames are, if you look at that, and that's truly incredible. Brilliant stars set, Sword and Shield, Moltres there. Absolutely incredible. Love that card. And now we've moved on to Hypno. So, again, very interesting. So, Hypno, the Pokemon of dreams. He can apparently induce dreams upon you, put you to sleep, you know, having a good night's sleep, that type of thing. So you can go to sleep. And I remember this Pokemon episode where they're in a city, and Ash has to sort of investigate why everyone's fallen asleep. And I think it's Hypno. Yeah, Hypno does it. It's a very sort of mythical Pokemon, a very, very powerful sort of aura about it. I mean, it's psychic. It's just what it is. So it almost makes sense that what Hypno is doing here in this scene is almost like casting a dream upon the person. The background, the city in the back, it is almost two-dimensional. Or maybe because it's so far away, but I don't think so, because it's almost separated from the plane that Hypno is on. The trees are like nothing else on this planet. And then you've got Hypno's shadow, which is almost like the dream realm opening up, and Hypno's about to hypnotize you and put you to sleep. It's a great sort of parallel between the real world and Hypno's power. Again, can only be expressed in a great artist's work like Kanda Shinji's. This is possibly one of my favorites. Absolutely incredible, and that's Hypno, Kanda Shinji. Okay, we are moving on to the next one, and we're looking at Magmar, which is interesting because it almost looks like Magmar is not on planet Earth, because let's put our attention onto the sky. What exactly is that in the sky? Is that another planet with greenery and water? I don't know. And then, of course, Magma's got this bellowing flame that he's sort of exploding from his snoot there. And it almost creates mountains of fire. That's what it looks like. Sparkles there with the sort of bubbles. And it's a very Christmassy vibe. The trees are unusual because they are red. Everything is unusual here. The clouds are red. Anything else that we can see there? Yeah, it is an unusual artwork for an unusual Pokemon. I mean, look at Magmar. It's a very unusual Pokemon. Alright, and that's Magmar, Kanda Shinji. Ariados. Ariados. A 73.9 pounds Pokemon. This is Symmetry. Spiders are known for making their webs as these sort of intricate, exactly, webs of patterns. And that sort of describes Kanda's artwork perfectly. It's a kaleidoscope that sort of makes sense but doesn't. And here the Spinarak, the Ariados is almost perfectly centered onto the backdrop here. The webs are almost symmetrically going off in each way. They're not, because I feel like Kanda's art, in his way, has to sort of not follow any rules. So while it is trying to do that, it is also deviating away from that. Absolutely love the purple mountains in the back, and then the dark layer just before that, the forest, and then the actual, it's almost got a bit of a Spider-Man-esque feel on there. Very cool, very intimidating Pokemon looking style there, and I love it. I would like to conclude this video by saying thank you for watching it. I really recommend that you check out Kanda Shinji's Instagram page, and I'll have a couple links in the description. So there are a few cards that I still haven't spoken about, like Bronzong, up here, and there's the another Moltres card I don't have in my collection. I don't have the Giratina, but if you haven't seen these cards, I highly recommend checking them out. They are beautiful. Even if you can't find the card in person, like this Giratina card, I don't have it myself. Just look it up on the internet, and it's just admire the artwork. It's absolutely beautiful, except for that part where I drew on the card. So yeah, I will. I'll continue making content like this, but would really appreciate for you to leave a comment and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in.